first episode of Mining in Space, the podcast for mining in space. Basically, here we're going to discuss everything about space mining, from asteroids to comets to lunar mining to mining other planets in the solar system, and eventually even exoplanets and other solar systems, which will come one day, far, far in the future. But hey, you got to start somewhere. My name's Jason. I am a big supporter of this industry. I also do have a little startup I'm trying to do. I will tell you about that in another episode. Expo Sol. It's an asteroid mining starship design, but let's not get into that right now. Let's get going. Excuse me. We're also going to look into other aspects that come from asteroid mining, such as refining, forging, manufacturing in space. Shipyards, obviously, is a big one. We do have a plan for that myself, but, there's other people with other plans. We want to discuss all this stuff. Not just to learn, but to lobby for the industry. And lobbying for the industry is something I already do a lot on my YouTube channel. So I figured, why not make a podcast where I could lobby for the industry? And also I could learn how to publicly speak better, because this is my first podcast. I'm going to wing it, do my best, like I do everything in life. Just go head first and see what happens. So if this is cringe, sorry. If it's cool, I'll be shocked. But, yes, also, being on camera gets nerves. I mean, I don't know. I feel kind of weird just talking, but can't wait to talk to somebody else. So hopefully soon, maybe I'll be able to have some guests so I can talk to them. Also, help me lose a little weight. Big guy, need to lose some weight. Being on camera, probably going to help me encourage that better. Anyways, I'm Jason. Let's go forward. Space mining. Well, there's different types of space mining. Like, asteroid mining is one thing, and that's where all you get these big headlines, the quadrillion dollars, and the $1 trillion and the $1 billion rocks. And there's tons of them. And then there's going to be, like, comet mining for ice, and I'm sure there's other minerals and stuff that we're going to discover in comets that are, beneficial to industry and humanity. And then there's mining like the moon. H3. The company I looked into the other day, I'll put a link in the description for that company. He's got the idea of doing the rover thing, and it's pretty much designed to go through and pick up the sand and probably sort out the stuff on the surface, lunar surface, and other surfaces, big asteroids, Mars even. It's interesting. I mean, it's a different concept, but hey, you never know. There's so much out there. There's so many high-value rocks, planets, moons, comets, that there's almost no wrong answer. Well, there's a wrong answer, but there's almost no wrong answer for serious attempts at asteroid mining. Speaking of that, if you have an idea or something like that, or you want to possibly be a guest or submit some ideas, please send them to me. My email, it will be in the description also. Another important thing we're going to look at here is the environmental benefits. Like, asteroids have no atmosphere. They have no plants. They have no animals. I mean, that we know of, obviously. I'm sure there's going to be exceptions here and there, but for the most part, they're dead rocks. And it's much more beneficial for humanity to mine out there than go to the rainforest and chop down a whole bunch of trees and kill a whole bunch of animals just to mine some minerals we can get from space without killing anything. And their rocket fuel has got to be way better for the environment than a whole bunch of trucks. And, with RTGs, power sources, I mean, these mining craft could literally mine forever up there, as long as nothing breaks. But anyways, It's another subject we'll go over one day is RTGs, radiothermal generators. And yes, radiothermal. I was just double checking, making sure I knew what they were. And that goes back to the need for, another need for doing this. Asteroid mining is, which these minerals also provide, like platinum, palladium, rhodium, rhodium. Okay, I'm going to butcher some words. Please forgive me. I'm a blue-collar guy. I have some college, but, iridium, all these things, and many more, have lots of industrial applications, medical and green technology applications. But there's just not enough supply to make them, available and feasible to do. And asteroid mining will lead us to that in a not too distant future. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but like gold and silver should be electrical wires, not jewelry, in my eyes. If you like gold and you like to wear it, I ain't mad at you. But I feel like they're much better for that. And, one day soon we'll also be discussing things like, sorry, lost my train of thought. And, from stuff like this, we'll also get manufacturing in space. Once you mine these minerals, if we could build stuff in orbit, leave it in orbit, not have to transport it down to Earth and back up again, that saves fuel. And, landing is going to be probably the most dangerous part of the entire trip. Because, you're landing. Taking off is probably the second dangerous part. So, these are, once we figure out the benefits of those type of situations, we'll be able to start manufacturing more in space. And that'll lead us to bigger space stations, more consumer goods up there, and be able to support a higher population of the planet, of humans in orbit or within the solar system. Another aspect we will be coming through and talking about eventually is other companies. I mentioned that I can't pronounce it. It's a Greek god. Like I said, I'll link in the description because I butchered it every time. I try to get Google to play it a few times and it says it too fast. They're doing one aspect. Then you got like Astroforge. Astroforge, by far, is the leading company, let's be honest. They're trying to do a in-place refining, land on an asteroid, mine and refine, and just extract pure metals out of it. Which is, hey, that's not a bad idea because, you're transporting less waste versus like my company, Expo Sol, which is, in the beginning, it's still, let's call it a baby. I'd say it's a toddler phase right now. We have a design where we're going to go to an asteroid, selectively mine the high-value ores, and transport them back, giving the weight capacity of a starship. And that's another way we can do it. There's different options right there. I don't want to go too deep in it because this is the introduction episode. And also, this is like the 5th time I've recorded this because, like I said, this is the first time I'm doing something like this. So please forgive me. If the camera looks weird or wrong angle, I'm sorry. I think I had it right set up this time. But, and also you got to think about, not just the companies, but, government's going to want to get involved too. And that's going to lead to new regulations, probably on landing and stuff like that. Or, but most governments should be welcoming because if you bring in how much money, they usually like that. Especially when they can tax something. And I'm sure they'll figure out taxes for it. That's one thing we'll eventually start looking into a little bit down the road. I haven't done much research into the tax part of it yet. Because, if you've seen a tax code book, that thing's ridiculous. But I'm sure it's coming one day. That's why you pay somebody else to do that, right? And then, legally, from everything I read, asteroids are considered international waters. So that means it's open. It's not exclusive to anybody. Anybody can go mine them. So that means if we're first, from my understanding. Now, I would love to get somebody that has a legal background. I'm not a lawyer at all to explain it better to me, but if I understand, like, we can go there and mine a rock, and then somebody else could be mining the other side of the rock, and that's perfectly legal. Which, if it is, that's fine. I mean, I don't see a reason why, but, greed is greed. And I'm sure there'll be issues. I'm sure some of the early space wars will be about minerals, just like on Earth, but hopefully not. Hopefully we can go out into space and not try to kill each other every 2 seconds. That would be nice. And then you have, that insurance. I'm sure will be a whole episode about insurance one day. Boring stuff, I know. But, you gotta look at all the aspects of this industry. This industry is growing. It's still its infancy. We're still getting there. I mean, NASA has technically asteroid mined. They sent a probe to an asteroid, recovered material, and brought it back. I know they didn't do it for profit, and they weren't doing it to mine a specific mineral. They were just trying to get whatever they could. But that's still asteroid mining. So everybody can see that it is possible. I mean, they did it the most complicated way, but it's NASA. It's government. They're going to do it the most complicated way. And, I mean, that was funny, though. You got to love the fact that, like, they get it back and it's stuck because they had so much material. They had more material than they thought they were supposed to have, and they just took forever to get the thing open. But they learned a lot, and I mean, that was a cool rock. I mean, it was, a step forward in space industry. And speaking of space industry, one industry I think we all need to start doing some more research in is in space refining and reprocessing of metals and materials, because that is, Astroforge is doing a little bit of work on it, and NASA's done some work on it, but I cannot find anybody that's done any serious research into different ideas. I mean, we know certain things, metamaterials, can be made up there differently than on Earth because of zero gravity, and that's something we'll look into too. Is one day is doing all the meta stuff, the unique and beneficial structures that a lot of these materials that have formed in zero gravity can lead to on Earth. Obviously, that's something to look forward to as an industry too, because when those things become more in demand and it's more profitable to mine it and bring it to a station and make it there, then bring it back to Earth, that's something that we can also look forward to as another notch in the industry, if you will. I will admit that this is the first episode, and this is the best taping I've had, so this is probably going to be the one I use. So, I say so a lot, apparently. I need to work on that. I am trying to improve myself, make sure I speak right, everything like that. So, if you'd like to make fun of me in the comments, by all means, knock yourself out. Anything you'd like me to do to improve it, by all means, knock it out. I will have Astroforge and linked in the descriptions. I mean, they're two companies I would recommend looking into. I'll also link Expo Sol because, we have some cool merch. I'll be making merch for podcast eventually, but right now I'm just trying to sell some merch to generate the funds so I can get a facility, a little warehouse or something like that to start building the prototype. So definitely, please, anything will help me out there. I need to stop saying so much too. Mental note. Well, till next time, I need to stop saying that word. So we'll try again. Till next time, insert slogan here, because I'm going to figure out one. Have a good day, y'all.